gracing us with your presence, sir. We are so thrilled to have you among us. Today is no ordinary day. Today is World Heritage Day, and this day is not just a day for celebration, but a day for reflection, action, and commitment. A day to revisit our milestones of the past. A day to delve into the rich historical context and contemporary significance of the Naga's pursuit for self-determination.
Nearly 6 decades, the people in Nagaland have been slumbering. Why? Because they have been totally subjugated, oppressed, suppressed by gun culture. But as the Bible said, there is a time for everything and a season for every activity under heaven. A time to be silent and a time to speak up. And therefore, this is the appropriate time. This is the opportune time. This is the right time. This is the critical time for all of us to speak up. You cannot remain slumbering. Remain silent at this point of time. So as the Bible said, this is the time to speak. And therefore, as an old man, I'm speaking to you what had happened during these 50 years, and what is going to happen, and what is happening today. I think these are the issues which we have to very carefully, seriously consider and study. More than 6 decades, the only stable type for the people of Nagaland continues to be Naga political problem. And consequently, they have neglected much more important issues, much more important activities which are required to be considered. Have we ever thought of the economic sphere of the state? Have we ever discussed about the educational problem of the state? Have we ever discussed about the social problem of the state? Cultural aspect, all these. But we have totally neglected all these issues, and we have put the entire thing, politics, in the same basket. And what is the condition today? After putting all these eggs in the same basket, now the basket is either missing or destroyed because of our follies, and now it is not visible, it is not traceable. And that is the kind of polity which we have inherited during these 50 years of political struggle. Nothing is so clear, nothing is visible. And today, the entire gamut of these political activities are dormant. And therefore, it is the responsibility of the enlightened citizens, like the younger generation, like you, because you belong to the future. So it is time that the elderly people like us should thoroughly introspect and retrospect what had gone wrong with our people. And in order to have a very clear idea of the problem we are facing today, I think we have to approach this with objectivity and systematic approach, and this is the hallmark of all important issues in the world. And the same process requires, the same premise required in order to understand the genesis, the importance, and the significance of Naga political struggle. We should not entertain any prejudice against or for. Because today I am speaking to you, not as a politician, but I am speaking to you as a professor of political science. So that all these prejudice can be wiped out. So I am speaking not as a politician, but as one of your professors. You know, we are speaking about politics, that's why I want to have that title, Professor of Political Science. Now, let us very carefully see some of the things. Now, history is a witness to what had happened, what is happening during these 50 years, or more than 50 years. History is a witness to the decades of stormy, perilous Naga political pilgrimage or political voyage, during which the people, our own people, have to live a life of monumental struggle and sacrifices for the cause, very, very dear to their hearts. And what is that? A separate homeland for the people. That is it. As a matter of fact, a generation of my people, my generation, they have lived in blood and sacrifices for the cause of our dear Naga homeland. Now people are talking so many things about this. But may I take this opportunity to tell you in very brief a panoramic view of what had happened during these years. Many people were claiming that Nagas are troublemakers, Nagas are doing like this. But may I tell you? No. After the Second World War, when the British Empire collapsed, well, before the war, people say British Empire, the sun never sets in British Empire. But after the Second World War, the British Empire was decimated. And at that point of time, colonial people, whether it is in Africa or Asia, including India, they have starting for freedom. At that point of time, our forefathers, the leaders of yesterday years of Naga people, they also felt that they also should be free. They should also have a home of their own. And therefore, Naga struggle started in the right time. That is the reason why we say the Nagas have got a unique history. When other tribals, they never realized their right. And yet, at that point of time, people have realized that they have got a right to live as a free people. And that was the conviction, that was the determination of the people of Naga. And in order to pursue a struggle, an institution has to be established, and therefore in 1946, Naga National Council was formed at Oka. And that Naga National Council was a representative that represents the voice of Naga people. There was only one solid voice for Naga people, and that was echoed by Naga National Council. The first president was T. Aniba MT. He was a graduate, honors, in English from Shillong. So he was the first NNC president. And second was Wanda Mutida, who later became minister also. Then Visa from Jakarta. Then in 1950, maybe 10 March, Philu was elected as president of the Naga National Council. So when he assumed the presidency, then he gave a very clear direction how Naga struggle should proceed. So in order to solidify the movement, plebiscite was held in 1951 under his leadership. According to records, 99.9% voted for Naga sovereign independent land. And with that mandate, Philu started the struggle. And the entire people of Nagaland rallied around Naga National Council. One voice, one objective, one towering leadership. But in due course of time, again, rift started within Naga National Council. Moderate group and hardline. Moderate group said, unless we follow non-violence means, democratic means, a tiny people like us will be swallowed up by the mighty India. But one group said no, we have to follow a hard line. There was clash, as a result of which T. Sakre, a genius, very handsome, very eloquent in English, though he studied only intermediate science. He was a musician, singer. He was an orator. He was an intellectual. He was kidnapped from Chichama by his own people, tortured and killed. And that was the beginning of dissension in the Naga struggle. That when situation worsened, Assam government couldn't control the situation. Because they started committing excesses, atrocities on our own people. So, and they got also form their safeguards to protect our people. So Assam government became helpless. And therefore they had to deploy Indian security forces in aid of civil power. So when the army comes, what would they do? They are ordered, they are commanded to crush. And that is the approach of army. So in that process, Naga people have to face the atrocities of Indian security forces. Our houses were burned, granaries were burned, villages were thrown and stockaded, no cultivation, no contact among people, no food. And those people whose villages were burned, they had to take shelter in the jungle. At that point of time, Nagas had to suffer. Nagas had to suffer this, but nobody knew it. Nagas had to live in that condition, unseen, unloved, uncared, unknown by outside world. Then what happened? Because of stockading of villages, or hunger, no food, no ammunition, no contact with people. They're terrible things. At the same time, all the men folks, you heard that many of them to jail, and remaining were fully engaged and forced labor. And at the same time, underground people also started killing our own people with suspicion that they are agents of the underground, about CIT. So in between this situation, one side like a devil, other side like deep blue sea. In that situation, people were plunged, no hope, no life. Then, what will be the consequence? Either to surrender and go back to Assam and the district with the defeated people, or something has to be found out in order to salvage the hopes and aspirations of the Naga people. So that time, church leaders, government servants, and overgrown public leaders, they started consulting among themselves. Each tribe, what to do? We had to have only two choices. Either annihilation or survive. Do we survive or do we annihilate? Naturally, Nagas would like to preserve their identity. They want to live as a people, not as a subject to Assam. So after consulting all the people, consulting all tribes, representatives of the then Tuinsang Frontier Division, and representatives of the then Naga Hills District of Assam, they had consultation that something has to be done, otherwise the situation will go beyond repair. So ultimately, in order to salvage the Naga people from this terrible situation, Naga People Convention was held in 1957. About 3,000 representatives came from different parts of Naga Hills and Tuinsang area. And at that point of time, when Naga people were groaning under the weight of army operation, not a single sympathetic voice was heard from Nagas of other areas, whether it is from Manipur Nagas or original Nagas or some Nagas. No, none of them have expressed even a word of sympathy for the suffering and of Naga people at that point of time. So Naga People Convention was born in order to save the situation. Then time was given to consultation. But government of this said, nothing doing about sovereignty. Either have it or leave it. So we have to choose one of the two. In order to save the Naga identity, the Naga people, and to make them a proud citizen, Naga People Commission decided that we should now decide to have our own state within Indian Union. Draft was prepared. It was circulated. And in 1959, at Bogotá, 5 days deliberations was made about this 60-point memorandum. Only after thoroughly digesting the contents, the word, the phrases, and the idea contained in that, that people have passed a unanimous resolution that 16-point memorandum should be the basis for negotiation with the Prime Minister of India. So when in 1960, a delegation, negotiating body appointed by the Naga People's Convention met the Prime Minister, then he agreed to give us statehood. But we said, yes, we shall have state, but it should be under Minister of External Affairs. People will be wondering why I am raising this. Because Nagaland, a state within the Union of India, shall have to be looked after by a Home Ministry. So I said, no, you should be a Home Ministry. But we said, no, we should be under you. Because that time, Pandit Nehru was also holding the portfolio of External Affairs Ministry. But our intention was, when underground people negotiate finally, it should be at Prime Minister level. That's why we said, no, we should be only with you. That is the reason why Nagaland state was kept under Minister of External Affairs. Why? No other state. Secondly, no other state was created through political negotiation except Nagaland. All the states in the country were formed, created under the recommendation of the State Reorganization Commission. But Nagaland is the first and the only state which was formed through political agreement. And there we have mentioned very specifically Article 371A. Clause 1 says, as far as religious and social practices are concerned, Parliament cannot pass an act unless Nagaland Assembly says yes. Land, any resources, belongs to Naga people, and therefore, central government cannot pass law with regard to petroleum or any minerals available in Nagaland. This is the safeguard. And not only that, since Twinsa Factor dividend was paid one, we have made a special provision for Twinsa for 10 years. And they were asked to function under Twinsa Regional Council. So that different tribes of Twinsa area, not the MPO area, they should also discuss their own problem in that council. The proverb says, it is the where the shoe pinches. Similarly, whether it is in Naga area or in Kimsong area, Goyang area, Hong area, Chang area, Southern area, the people know their problem. So in order to discuss among themselves, we have formed the regional council for 10 years. But after 3 years, they said, no, now we shall also be a real then participant in the functioning of the state. So they also joined with the rest of the country. So from the beginning, they are also participating in the governance of Nagaland. No discrimination. Now, the question is, all these years we were only talking. But in 1947, the first agreement, political agreement was made between Naga National Council and Akbar Hydri, who are representing personality. 1947. And that is called 9 Points Agreement. Or it's also called Akbar Hydri Agreement. Everybody was agreed except the 9 point. And what does the 9 point say? After expiry of 10 years, the Naga National Council will be asked whether the same arrangement will continue or a new agreement should be made. That was the provision. But Naga National Council said, after expiry of 10 years, the Nagas will be free to choose their own form of government. That is the reason why it collapsed. The Commonwealth never agreed to this sovereignty. Why? If you read the Constitution, this Indian Independence Act of 1947 passed by the British Parliament. You read carefully. In there, such political science people you read them. They said all the subjects which was under British administration, some will go to Pakistan and some will go to India. And at that point of time, Naga Hills was a district of Assam. So without our knowledge, British government has handed over to India. That is the reason why even today we are suffering. But after saying all this, what needs to be done now? The world is different. 2024 is not the same as 1960. World is changed. Completely changed. Now the world has become like a village. In those days, we used to memorize even what is torchlight. We have to memorize. What is ventilation? We have to memorize. But today, in your mobile, you see the world, you hear everything which takes in the world. So your generation is different. And therefore, if Naga people have to survive, as a people, let us keep attuned to the changes that are taking place in 21st century. Are you a citizen of this 21st century or citizens of 19th century? I think we have to ask. And I believe as an old man, I belong to a citizen of 21st century. And I want to move according to the political, economic, social realities of contemporary world. Because our future has to be carefully telescoped. But today, people are only talking, only politics. Yes, Summary Commission is also a memorandum. And our elders, they have submitted the memorandum which was befitting to them the situation at the point of time. Plebiscite was done because it was the right decision at that point of time. But the world has changed. And 60 point was made because that was the right time to make it. And today we are part of India. And remember, India is emerging as one of the superpower of the world. Because 21st century will be a century for the Asians. That is the reason why India has adopted low-case policy, now they call act-case policy. When it is fully mature, there will be a lot of people coming from the Southeast Asian countries. capitalists to invest, scholars for research, students for studies, tourists to see, there will be tremendous influx of population from Southeast Asian countries. And that time, after 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, the entire Northeast region will be fully engaged in economic activities. Whether we shall also be participant in economic boom, or we shall be a second citizen at that point of time, only when talking about what it is and doing nothing. Now the framework agreement has been already made, agreement project has been made, and when it was signed, they shook hands with Prime Minister, with Home Minister, clap hands. That means agreement. Then why Naga should go away from partnership? Naga should stand. And I believe, even though they are showing to us, under the present current situation, whatever that they have done, that is the only possible thing which we could expect. And therefore, the younger generation, you look forward, you look for the future, and don't spend your time only for the past. So many yesterdays have gone by. So many days, tomorrows also have gone by. But what will remain with you? Today, the present, which is very important. If you make use of today, the present, then this present alone can create a better future. And this present alone can leave a legacy, a history, a good history for yesterday. And therefore, young people, you are enlightened, you are educated, the future belongs to you. And therefore, don't be blind to the past. Past is only for reference. But be vigilant of what you are doing today and have a bright future through your commitment, your dedication, and your foresightedness. And as all men like me, I still feel that Nagaland will definitely shine. This will be one of the envy of the rest of the country in the world. Provided settlement comes, opportunity is given to our people, our youngsters, because they have got the dynamism to move forward. And with these few words, I can only pray that God will definitely bless the younger generation of Naga people. Thank you.